So hello and welcome to another Emm-Bee Motorhomes display of the TD Harmony Line 734. We're going to have a look around the outside and just familiarise ourselves with the vehicle. I do apologise if you can hear the wind in the background. We're going to have a look around and see what we can see. So as we take ourselves around, first of all we're going to start here in the bonnet area. Just so you know, the release catch, which I'll show you in a moment, that can be found on the passenger side just as you open the door. So we'll get in and have a look at the engine space. There we go. So the usual stands along the line. So just give you the basics so that we know, along with all the things that we want. So our regular fluids that we come, our oil there at the case. Should you at all need to use a jump start at all on this particular vehicle, then you'll notice that you can't get direct access to the battery. So you're actually connecting one of your chargers here and then the other one down here at the section there at the bottom. That's probably all you really need to know about the engine. As with a lot of modern vehicles, these are really not the areas for us to mess about with. Okay. So as we come around the passenger side of the vehicle, we see a few more doors and flaps open just to give us some of the information. First of all, just so we can see, that's our release catch just there. We open the passenger door so that we can get access to it. We also have here, just under the passenger seat, this is where we gain access to our fuse board if needed, and so you can find that and you know where you're looking at there. Then just here by the passenger door is our fuel section. Here we're filling with diesel, and you can see here it's easier access, but you will need to make sure that the passenger door is open to be able to fill it with fuel. Moving a little bit further along, just here on this side of the habitation, then we have our water tank, and we also have our frost valve, and this is where the electric unit is plugged into when you're on a site. You'll notice here that what you can do is you thread the electric through this particular door so that when you close it, that you are actually able to close it. Just remember when driving off to make sure that you've disconnected and you don't drive away still connected. Here is the water that will help you with that, and we can fill in at this stage. So we're undoing here at the top to pull out, and that will be where we would fill in. So we have a nice little catch tray that will help, so you do get any runoff with your water, it's going to start to fall out but not actually fall on the inside of your vehicle. Obviously that's vital, and just so you know, this stores here on the door of the vehicle with a nice little catch to keep it all secured. Along with that also is a valve switch which will help you for opening valves. Just down here we've got what we call our frost valve. So it's very important that with the frost valve here, that when you're getting to the periods of time when it's cold, you're not leaving lots of water inside of the water tank. If you do, then of course the general problem is that as water freezes, it will expand. So what we want to do is to drain some of that fluid off, and we can do that by turning this switch so that we are able to empty some off, and you'll hear it click as you do, and then that will drain some away from that. We also have up here a special bung. So what we do is we twist this, and if you notice here, it gives you the instructions of 120 litres, but it will drop it down to 20 litres. That keeps some fluid in, and it also means then that you are helping yourself in any kind of frost situation. So just remember when you're using this particular vehicle, when you do turn this switch, that there is also a blue button just down here that you have to press, and you should hear me press it there, and then this yellow switch does need to also be down when using the vehicle. This particular key that we talked about, this is for the drain that we have, and that drain valve can be found just here under the vehicle, and this is the which you are switching. So just moving a bit further across here, of course we've got our gas canisters. This is where we would be fitting in there, and you're fitting into your regulator with the pigtail that should come in the vehicle along there. All of these obviously have got their canopies that can be shut down, and that should help you along. Just moving along then to the rear of the vehicle, here we see our garage spaces. This is for your storage. Just in particular in this one, you'll see that there are the boxes for the TVs that this particular vehicle has had installed. That's not standard with it, but this space here is for you, and you can see that the heating comes into that, and it's very useful for you to look at. Just coming around the back of the vehicle, we've got just up here our reversing camera, so just keep that in mind. And then, as is standard with Burstners, you've got your double doors on both sides that can help you there. Okay, just moving a bit further along. Here we have our TV port if you are looking to use outside with regards to the TV, and you've got your aerials, your power, and all the different elements. This particular unit, it also comes with an external gas, so if you are running a barbecue or anything that's going to need that, then you can fit to this unit and you've got your usual regulation. That's going to come out from your gas bottle, so you need to keep that in habitation. Here then we have what we will call our toilet cassette. So this is designed for what we're using with regards to the toilet, and the way that that works, the whole thing is a fitted unit. You're simply going to use the bathroom, and when you're on site and you come to that place where you are ready to empty this, then you're simply pulling up to pull out the cassette, and you press that clip, it'll pull it out, and this is all of your cassette. So I'm just going to put it down here just so you can have a look. So the cassette is as designed as you want. It's got all the different elements that you come along. So this here is part of your drain. This would be how you drain out the fluid at the end of it. You're going to remove this cap off here on the end, which also doubles as a filling unit. So if you are measuring out your various chemicals that you're using in the toilet, that's how you can use it. And you fit that onto there, and obviously it does screw back on. When emptying the unit, you do remove that, you flick, and you need to go to the special place that will be on the site or within a toilet area, and you would simply tip it up to where you need to do. And it's very important that you press this button at the same time. What that does is that stops air getting trapped so that it comes out in a glugging motion. But if you press this down, then it will bring air in through the top, and at the same time the fluid starts to fly out the other side, and that should help to clear it in a nice, simple, easy motion. Should you any reason need to come in and access the inside of this tank, then the blade here on the top, you simply turn, and this will give you the access to the inside of the unit should you need to do that in any way. And sometimes that can be useful in terms of internal cleaning for the vehicles. When you're finished, you also have here, just to help you move, you do have on this particular unit a handle which can pull up. Just get the pull, you just pull it out there, so you just pull it back like that, lift it up, and as you can see there, you've got a useful handle for being able to drag it around the site so that you're not carrying any particular weight that you need to. Once you're finished, obviously you put the whole handle back so that it's all secure. Put the lid back on, screw that back on, make sure it is in that position, that all things are secure and locked, and simply place it back into its housing and press it in until you hear the click, and then you can close the door, and that gives that secure. A little bit further around, obviously that's the habitational door. We'll come back to that in a moment. We come around here to the driving position, and this particular vehicle has an interesting addition. This isn't standard with the model, and that is the air on the suspension. That's to help it to give it just a little bit more stiffness. If you are using it, it's on the left side, and on the right side you simply press it down to release, press it up to blow, and you can do that on both sides and press it down to release. That gives you hopefully some example on what to use in terms of where you are. And you just notice here on this particular model, we do have an awning with its LED lights. We do have a separate video on YouTube for you to be able to use to figure out how to open that awning and to be a part of. So this particular unit also has a TV satellite setup. I'll show you briefly the buttons that we can press. What it simply will do is it will lift the dish up here in the air, and then the dish will spin around until it finds the particular channel that it is looking for. When you're finished, you turn it off, and it will also come back down and lay flat. And it's very important you do remember that, otherwise you'll be adding a little bit more height to the vehicle than you're used to. And obviously you don't want to lose the dish under any bridges or low hanging spaces. So just taking us into the vehicle, as we open the door, we see a number of different things that are useful for us. First of all, you have the bin on the door, which is great. Just inside that, you'll notice that there's a dustpan and brush. here as part of the Burstner Life, we have the control panels by the door. The first one that you're going to want to press here is for the electric steps. That's going to bring the step out here at the bottom. Press it out till the step is out fully so that you are secure getting in. And of course then that's all your lights and other elements. Here in the door you'll see that we do have as well the blinds. We'll show those in a moment, but there is also a fly door which you simply pull out. That can go right the way across. It connects magnetically. As we go into the vehicle, we see first thing is our control panel, and what we want to do is we want to press this button here. That control panel is going to give us all of the light switches that we want, most of which that can be controlled here. You've got your external ones as well as all the others that are going to give you all the various lights. As we said, this one's got a TV unit. This was the buttons that you need to press. So you're turning on here and that will start your satellite dish from moving. So that's important to keep in mind, and make sure that you do turn it off before you travel away. So we're going to look at a lot of different things here inside of the cab for you to get, but the first thing to look at here is this particular unit comes with an extended table. So if we just get under the table, we can see right here first of all that there is a little bit of a handle. We pull that down, and as we pull that down we can move the extension around, and that will help us to reduce it. And simply because that was a two-handed operation, I put the phone down just so that we could show that, and you can see that's the table now with a reduced table. Can also remove the table over here at the stand. Simply lift it up and pull along, and we'll be able to take it off if we don't want the table in access. Just looking here obviously at the driver's position so that we're aware that we can move the seats around so that we are comfortable. We've got those switches, first of all, that we can move around in use, as comes in the hand. When you hear the click, then you know that you're in the driving position that is secure and safe. If you do want to move the vehicle, then what we do is we pull the handle just here, and that allows us to move the seat as well. And we can twist it so that we're a part of the family life here that's part of the van. This is a manual, and it's on a Fiat chassis. You've got your cab elements here that you need to use. All the parts of that when you turn the vehicle on, you'll be able to get access to. Added to that as well is that you will see here in the front windows, and with many of the windows, is there are blinds. Obviously in UK law we can't double glaze a front windscreen. So we pinch these two together, we pull simply across, follows on the track, and they will go all the way across. And that will give us the secure vanity spline that we need to keep ourselves private when we are at that time. There's also some on the windscreens. There is also some here on the windows that are on the driver's and passenger's side. They're the same again. We pinch them together to pull them out. Be careful with them and you'll be able to use them. Here at the top on our skylight that we have the same again. So we've got that unit that can come up and show and give us the privacy that we might, but we've also got the same again, a fly screen. So if we do have this open, we're not going to be joined by every element of the outside, so that we're nice and secure. So just moving now into the kitchen area. So here in the kitchen area, of course, we've got all the units that we might need. So we've got our electric, our gas hobs here, so that we've got that, as well as our oven. Just so you know, the isolator switches are found here in the top switch. So there they are if you do need them. Make sure you keep that secure. Obviously under there is your water tank. Now it's important that when you do want to use the heating system and when you're ready to go with your hot water, that the way that we prime the unit simply is that having turned the switches that we looked on outside to make sure that the unit is sealed, we start by turning on our hot water tap, and we turn it to hot water because that's the highest point in the vehicle, and in so doing we let it run until it runs clear. Once it starts to run clear without any spitting and spotting, that means that you have primed the hot water tank and you have filled it up, not just there. And then you go around and make sure that you do that in the bathroom and in the shower, even if you're not going to use the shower, because it does help to prime and make sure that there is no air trapped within the unit. Once that is running clear, then close it all off, and the hot water will begin to heat up for you as a section. And that takes us kind of nicely here to the heating system that we've got. So this is our Truma heating system. To activate it, we simply press the button, and then we've got a number of different controls that can here to help. So the first one is our heating for the actual cab. So if we press on that, we can turn it off, we can turn it on, and then obviously we could set it to the temperature that we want it to get. So if we set it to 21 or to 22, whichever you feel most comfortable with, then the unit is going to try and get to there. This little button here is your back button, so once set you can go back and you can move to the next one. So the next connection that we're looking at here, this is our hot water. Again, we've got our options. We can set it to eco, we can set it to hot, or if we're looking for a very quick shower, we can send it to boost, and that will give us the elements that we need. If we look a bit further across, then this gives us the option to choose the fuel that we might want. So we just click on that. We have what we call electric 1, electric 2, and then there's mix 2 and mix 1, or then there's just the gas. So obviously a bit self-explanatory. The electric runs just from the leisure battery. The gas will run from the gas bottle. The electric also then draws out, of course, if we are connected on site to the units. But some sites, particularly in Europe, they may have a bit of a reduction that have the same kind of wattage that we might have on a UK site. So we can change that down to what we call electric 1. If you're in a position where it's only the 110 watts instead of 240, then the thing that you need to just remember is that you might need to just reduce it down to stop tripping the site or anything along the lines. Finally, on here we have the speed of the fan. That's set as normal. You shouldn't really need to mess with it, but if you want to, you can do the venting, and that might help you with regards to cooling down. Just here on the control panel, just so you're aware, obviously that's your on and off switch. That's an important one. These two then give you some information. So if you press on this, is the battery for the habitation. It'll tell you what the level of charge is. This is the battery for the vehicle. It'll also tell you the charge. And then you have up here your wastewater and your normal water, which will give you the controls there. And then this one is for arming your pump. So if you press that, then the hot water will start to work, providing you followed through on the controls that I've set. So let's go once again a bit further into the kitchen. We have here our, what they call sometimes the three-way fridge and freezer unit. That means that it is going to be able to run for you. Either it's going to be able to run based on your gas, which is this particular here. It's going to run when you are connected to the mains, or it can run on your leisure battery, but it will only run on that when you are actually have your vehicle running. Here we have our section that will give us so that you can set it to what level you want. And if you press this, the A button, then what it will do is it will actually automatically use what is the best fuel. And in reaction, it's always going to go in this particular order. So it's going to always try and to use your mains power if you're connected onto the site first. So the A button is a good one to press, which will help you to kind of begin. So this is our bedroom space here. It's a lovely setup in the particular model that we've got here, where it has the island bed configuration and all your various storages. Let's have a look now into the bathroom space. So here we have our toilet, and we also have our shower cubicle and space. And as said before, make sure that you arm and prime that by turning it to hot and then letting it run until it runs clear. That is also the same here for the sink. In terms of using the toilet, as we said, the blade that is armed, you need to press, and you might just be able to see it here. You need to turn that, and what that will do is that actually opens up the unit so that it's now available to be used. If I close that, you will see that it now seals that unit. So make sure that you are doing that before you do come to use, and then your flush button is there at the back. We've had a look at a number of the different elements of there. Just remember on all of your windows, so I'll show you just as an example of this, that you can see it. It's the same function at the top. We press this button down to just be able to pull down our fly screen. That helps us in order to be able to do our outdoor life or to have the cool air. And then we pull up for the secure, and they are magnetic so that they will come down. Pressing this button up releases it, and then you can pull it down, and obviously be careful with your function with all of those kind of things. So the final element really to look at here internally then is that this particular model does have the drop down bed, which is very useful for you to use. Now, just in the preparation for this, it's very important you notice that the light fittings that are here, because this whole unit is going to drop down, you do need to make sure that they are actually in the up position so that they are not going to catch on anything. And we'll do that on this side as well, just so you're aware. And that's the case that we've got along. And then in the other preparation, the thing we need to do is we are going to need to drop this cushion down low so that it doesn't catch. And that shows you just there where the edge of the bed is going to come down. So I'm just going to show you the function on the bed. So here you see just in the top, it's quite plain to see is that you have got a bed mechanic. It's key operated, that is for security. So we've turned this key all the way up there, and you can remove it if you need to, just so that that's secure, or you put it in and you turn it to the 45-degree angle. And simply to operate it, you press this down button here, and as we press it, you'll see it is moving down quite robustly. You can keep your hands in there, and that function is quite good, and it will bring all the way down till you're here and it stops. So this is the bed that you can use. The ladder is there, it connects here onto these two units. As well as that, under the bed we also have these sections here which are useful. This is your net function, which will then clip up onto the roof up here at the top, which is where you connect, and that will give you the security that you need should you be a mover in your sleep and you're not going to fall out, it'll catch you. So to remove the bed, and remember you can leave it made up at the night, that's the advantage of these particular beds. We simply press the up switch just here, and as we press it, it will move up, and just let it go until it doesn't go anymore. And there you go. So that's that fitted. So that gives us all the elements that we might need to know there. The last thing to show is obviously in the UK, it's important that when we're using the vehicle to travel in, that passengers are secured in the seatbelt spaces, so they can't just freely move around the cab. That's important. So we do connect in, and these seatbelts are the usual UK rated, and that will give you the security that you need. So this is your demonstration completed, and hopefully that answers all the questions that you might need on this particular vehicle. Now, it's been great, and if you do have anything more that you want to know, please leave us a like or a comment. Thank you very much.